Welcome to your nightmare. NTGs or National Trade Goods. These are the one thing which are the most dreaded even in the final ages. So, what are NTGs and what are these coalitions? So basically, every coalition is either an offensive coalition or a defensive coalition. The best way to know it is in the embassy layout. It's offensive, defensive, offensive, defenses, and it goes all the way till the final age with final coalition, which is a defensive coalition. Uh, they all have their own traits. For example, Aztecs provide barrack troop damage and mercenary attack damage and HP. Um, Mongols add ballista and mortar attack speed and tactics damage. Similarly, Cherokee adds barrack troops HP and supply cart healing. Americans add factory troop attack damage and airplane health. And Ethiopians add at factory troop health and general attack damage. Those were the offensive coalitions. For defensive, you have Egyptians, which add defensive building attack damage and building health. Maori adds defender attack damage and defender health. Indians add wall HP and town center health HP. Russians add garrison, tank depot, and bunker HP, air defense attack damage and health. We'll go over everything. Filipinos adds general's health and invading air troop damage.
Hi, post-recording Mapilla here. The recording Mapilla has forgotten to mention that the Filipinos' general hit points is only applicable to the generals defending your base. It will not affect any offensive generals, which is a big misconception most players have. Now, back to the video.
Anyways, we'll not spend too much time on it, but basically, when you are in world wars, you want to have coalitions because they are actually good and they are actually essential for world wars. For example, if you look at our number one guy in our world war, he uses 3 defensive coalitions, which are Egyptians, Filipinos, and Maori. The next guy, who is an offensive guy, he uses 3 offensive coalitions: Mongols, Aztecs, and Cherokee. Usually, it's the better idea to not mix the coalitions. Go for either 3-0 or 3 offensive coalitions or 3 defensive coalitions. As you can see, we can only have 1 right now. But once you upgrade your coalition, the second coalition unlocks in Gunpowder Age, and the third coalition unlocks, I believe, in Atomic or Cold War Age. I'm not sure about which. It's probably Atomic, but it might be Cold War. So that's the 3 coalition capacity, and that is what 3-0 or 3D means in a lot of when a lot of people are talking about 3-0 or 3D. Even a lot of my attack videos say 3-0 attack or 3D attack. They basically means that the attacker or a defender had 3 offensive or 3 defensive coalitions. That said, NTGs. How do you get NTGs? Well, it's simple. When you attack a base, if you get a 3 to 5 star victory, there is a chance to get the NTG. Now, the problem with that is it is very random. You might end up raiding for 1 to 2 hours and not get a single silk. Again, it's all RNG, it's all luck based. You might not have any problems with NTG, or you might have extreme amounts of problems with NTGs. Usually, for the majority of actively warring alliances, which war every other day, and because of that, they need NTGs every other day. It becomes a pain to keep up with the NTGs because once you start leveling up your coalitions, their NTG requirements also go up to a highest being 8.
Slight correction again. Maximum NTG's cost for coalition can be as high as 10 of a particular NTG or 20 NTGs per coalition. However, there is a parliamentary search which reduces it to 8 NTGs of particular type. So, 8 of a particular type is a bare minimum. However, If you don't have that parliament research, be ready to spend at least 60 NTGs per war.
So if you were to use three coalitions, it is 54 different NTGs which you need every other day, which is quite a lot considering you get two no considering you get three NTGs every battle, and plus an additional one if you have Moctezuma capstone research in university. That's a university thing. We'll come back to it when we talk about gunpowder rates and everything related to that. But for now, it's three random NTGs you get every single 5-star attack. So to have 54, you not only need to have you not only need to do 16 attacks, you need to make sure in those 16 attacks you get the NTGs you need, uh, which is a lot to ask for most of the time. So yeah, NTG grinding is still one of the things, a quality of life upgrade which the community is asking, and you never know when you are gonna get it. That's it. What uh, collisions should you upgrade? So for starters, I would suggest to only focus on Aztecs, Mongols, and Americans. All the rest you can leave for now. They are good, but uh, they have a very niche place. Whereas Aztecs, Mongols, and Americans, they are one of the more common ones, and they cover majority of the attack strategies. And right now, you want to work on diverse, on covering up different attack strategies rather than focus on one single attack strategy, because you are starting out. You never know when the current meta strategy dies and a new one arises. So the more diverse your options are right now, the better it would be for you in the end game. So for now, you want to focus on Aztecs, Mongols, and Americans. And the reason you want to focus up on Mongols and Aztecs is pretty much everyone these days uses barrack troops. And if you look at Aztecs, it increases or it says stronger barrack troops and mercenaries, and Mongols is improved siege troops and damage dealing tactics. So let's talk about barrack troops. So as we have talked about in the past videos or past streams, the heavy infantry is a must upgrade for every age. Like, just keep it max and you would never regret it. That being said, as you can see, I have not researched on a lot of different troops. You can research it if you want to, but the three three or four troops which you would want to have maxed at every age possible is the heavy infantry, the ballista, the mortar, and attack helicopter. These four are the four most meta troops currently in game. There are other age specific troops, for example, from industrial age till atomic age. You want to use guerrillas or commandos as much as possible. Other than that, most of these are not really useful. So make sure you have your infantry, your ballista, your mortar, your attack helicopter, your gorilla, and your war tactics max at every age, and follow it up with collisions, which would be Aztecs, Mongol, and Americans. Now you would see that I did not talk about airplane. Now that is because once you get to industrial age, airplanes will be your first priority always. And when I mean always, once you get to a new age, the first few upgrades should always be your airstrip. Follow it up by upgrading your airplanes. Do not touch your ground troops until unless you have your air troops maxed. Air troops are the biggest. I'm sorry. Air troops are the biggest game changer, the biggest power surge in this entire game. Uh, However, you do not want to upgrade every single one, because the thing is, let's be realistic. Every single plane upgrade, like every single age, there are six different plane upgrades, and even the lowest one at industrial takes 6 days each upgrade. So that's six times six. That's 36 upgrade. 36 days you would spend just upgrading your fighters. If you were to then also upgrade your transports and your bombers, just add another 36 days, which would be 72, and then 100 and something days. So like you will spend 100 days just upgrading your planes if you were to blindly upgrade your planes. That is why you want to know, or you want to make sure that you are only upgrading the planes that matter. For the most part, zeppelins and bombers are not worth it. They have a very high museum, and a very you need to have, basically you need to have a very dedicated museum, a very dedicated council, and stronghold troops. I don't think I have any Tupolovs, but there are a bomber troop tactics called as Tupolovs, which are more or less essential for any bomber attacker. And the thing is, Tupolovs are not very easy to find, so for a lot of times you will have to buy them with real life money. And that is why bombers is a sort of expensive attack strategy and not something that is recommended to beginners. So you should not be upgrading your bombers. The planes you should be upgrading, however, are your biplanes, which when you go to the later ages turn into fighters. You want to keep those maxed, and also you want to keep your transport maxed. The remaining recons, these unlock in digital age. That's already like an end game age. So you will know a lot more about the game by the time you reach digital age. So it's we let's not talk about that for now. But yeah, keep your biplanes, triplanes, fighters, whatever they are called, maxed. Once you get to global age and beyond, also keep upgrading your transports, and make sure that the planes that you have, or the planes that you use, are your first priority upgrades, and then and only then you go for troops, and then troop tactics, and then coalitions, or the other way around, where if you are very much into wars, you might want to upgrade your coalitions before you upgrade your tactics. That's completely up to you. That is something that um you can do it.